Hope you're well. Hope you had a good weekend. Just popping on for a few minutes here because we're talking about some Monday. Hold on. Some Monday ideas. Hold on a second. Getting all my papers. I still get home delivery of the Epic Times, if that's how you say it. Because over the years I keep switching between Epic and Epoch. I'm not that educated. What's going on, Karina? Christian? Who's that? Jagged. Jagged turd. That's the first one in today's jagged turd. Some of them feel that way, don't they? It's like, what the hell did I eat? Pebbles? God help us all. Good morning. Good morning. Pleasant surprise. Good morning, Johnny Morg. Good morning. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Everybody, here's the first question I'm going to ask you. On a Sunday afternoon, if you can pick any way to spend a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a half hour of real peace. Now, I'm not saying you have to be alone either. If you can set up the perfectly peaceful, contemplative setting for yourself for a half hour on a Sunday afternoon or whatever the hell it is, what would it be? Would you be on a lawn chair with a cigar contemplating God at dusk? Would you be fishing with your family, grilling? Would you just be on I don't know. What would it be? Sitting in a chair by the river or the lake. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about moments like that. Rider mower. That sounds very meditative. Lakeside with a bowl. This feels good. Sitting in my garden listening to the birds. Down by the pool in the backyard. A short hike with my dog to a hot cup of coffee and some cannabis. The toilet. Sometimes that's all you need, Bri. Sometimes that's all you need. Grilling, chilling, and puffing. Besides being at Mass, being on the porch swaying back and forth. Good morning, Gina. Sitting on my front porch, watching the fireflies while a thunderstorm rages in the distance. Puttering in the garden with my dogs nearby, smoking crystal. Smoking crystal meth at a drive-through car wash. My ribs. I have a rib cramp right now. Oh no. Let go. What a short drive. I mean, that's just, take something like crystal meth. That car wash is like 2.5 minutes. It's like 2.5 minutes long. That's not right. Anyway. Oh, man. No. Every once in a while, if that gets me. Well, thank you for that. Listen, most of those were very relaxing. And as I was reading them, I was where you guys were. Actually, yesterday I had a little bit of everything. Now, I went to Mass on Saturday before dinner. We went to Mass on Saturday before dinner, me, Lauren, and Aurora, and Saturday night was good, but yesterday I did a lot of cleaning and organizing in the yard and stuff like that. And I had a moment, I tried this new cigar. I don't know what the hell it was called. I should have kept the collar because now I don't know what the hell it was, but it had a slight vanilla hit to it. But I was listening to the radio. The Yankees were on. Of course they were losing, but it doesn't matter. the commentators that they had on radio were good this weekend. So it was just a nice background music, background sound, just something. He had the birds, but I pruned the tomato plants because they're finally starting to shoot. They're starting to shoot straight up. So I was strapping them back down to the trellis and doing some pruning and all that stuff. And then I was just, I cleaned the grill. But then I had a few moments in the front on a lawn chair. And I don't know. I had a little bit of everything. A little bit of gardening, a little bit of grilling. I cooked for everybody later on that night. And I don't know. I just feel like these are the things that I want to talk about this stuff more often. Friday night's episode. Who saw Friday night's episode? I'm telling you, man. That's quite frankly. That's always been the molten, burning core of Quite Frankly. That Friday night episode. I gotta get more people in that studio. It's tough. I'm always trying. I really am. Spiking my coffee with the Keto Brainz right now. Molly's gonna actually get a stop by at some point soon too, to talk about peptides and all that. I'm glad you liked it, Shotzi. But I never leave home without it now. That was a fun show, man. You got a little bit of everything. I knew Sal was, he was pissed about the whole Epstein thing. There's so many ways to look at it. None of them are really satisfying. And I had a few people ask me yesterday. You're backwards? What's the oh, really? This is backwards? Why the hell does that do that? Oh, it's Keto Brainz. It's in the description of the episode. It's a nootropic creamer for your coffee, or you can put it in anything, not just coffee. You can put it in your food, in your yogurts, cottage cheeses, whatever the hell it is. No sugar, no crazy shit. It just, I love it, and a lot of people in the audience love it. If you want some samples, email me, frank@quitefrankly.tv. If you want samples, email me. I got a little bit that I can spare, and I'm going to give them out to you guys. But what were we talking about on Friday night that I thought was just so good? We had some societal issues with the school teachers. And it's not just the school teachers, but it's the perception of these teachers. Especially if we're talking younger male, older woman, or younger girl, older man, and how much that even changes right there too. So that went, I knew that with the guys that we had on that night. We didn't have any time for calls, but that would have been great to take your calls. So if you haven't watched that episode, between that and all the reels, pineapple was a meat tenderizer. I didn't know that, but it was what, the bromelain. I got the bromelain over there with the NAC. So that's that was something I did not know. Only thing is that the caller, the super chatter who's talking about pineapple as steak tenderized, did he not say pureed the steak? Or is he talking about pureeing pineapple and marinating the steak in pineapple? That would make sense. It sounded like he was talking about pureeing steak, like almost turning it into a pate, which it didn't make sense to me. So it makes more sense if it's just Judge Judy should get Bondi's job. Judge Judy. Puree the pineapple, but he got jumbled. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, how the hell are you pureeing a steak? You're putting a skirt steak into a blender? I guess it's possible if you have the patience. Matt Von McCat. I got my Keto Brainz Saturday. It's amazing, as you all said it was. Highly recommended. Listen, it takes a lot for me, as you all know, because I've rarely had sponsors over the years. We had we still have great affiliates and friends like Blue Monster Prep and we have gold and silver affiliates. But as far as actual advertising sponsors, very few over the years, and it has to be something that I have personal experience with and that I love, and I know it's good. But there's more. There's more great people I'm going to introduce you guys to, because now we are in September event season. It's going to be good. We're running out of tickets for the September event. I may actually have to do something I may do something interesting at the end of this month, because tickets are going so fast. But try South Dakota recipe for your steak bites. Wait. What is that called? Chislick? James Agnew. It's in the description of the episode. It's a nootropic creamer. It's actually great when you're already fasted. This is something that you could have with you in your coffee when you're fasted, and it's just ketones through the roof. And if you want to try some, email me and I'll get you a couple of samples. You'll like it. I'll mail them right to you. Let's see. What else we could talk about for tonight? Suggestions. Scroll now. Suggestions for the show tonight, because I have a few things I wanted to do. I saw the TWA 800 is back in the news. I mean, at least some blog that started rehashing all of the scandal there. My question about TWA 800, because for years people were like, for years I remember when that happened. I was in middle school, blew up right over the Long Island Sound, and for years there was a spark in the fuselage. There was a spark, and the whole plane blew off. The whole front of the plane blew off. Everybody died, and it took years for people, all the testimony from people on the all the testimony of people on the mainland who saw the missile, who saw it was a missile attack, and then finally the pieces started to come together that it was a naval operation. It was surface to air. But the real question is motive. I know some people, I would really love to know about motive. Because there are a number of false flag theories out there and all that. Could it just be horrific accident? Is it miscalibrated equipment, and then just a government cover up to avoid any kind of embarrassment, to pay out money and have an apology? I mean, what exactly? I don't understand. Who was on the plane? I don't really know. As far as the people who were on the manifest or whatever, I never looked into that. The recovery, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen the recovery mission videos. They're just terrible. It's awful stuff. Frank, I want to start investigating a new topic for my Examine Everything blog. What topic do you guys want dug into? That's R.J. Williams in there, Robert Williams. RJ, when you come back on the show some point, when you were on with me on Wednesday, and we were talking about your investigation into the Bible and how it turned you from staunch atheist into now devout Christian, you said something about, the basis of your skepticism, how you never had any kind of paranormal or supernatural experiences. You never had a UFO experience, and you knew how to fake all of them. I would love to know about how you know to fake a UFO experience. I'd like to know a little bit more about that. Unless you're talking about like crop circles and stuff. That I've been thinking about a little bit since Wednesday night. How you would go about faking a UFO experience. Because other than that, I know that there are tricks to, as from the medium standpoint, if you're going to sit down at a Halloween party and be a psychic, play the role of the psychic and sit down and talk to people and tell their fortunes all night. I know that there's a trick. There are tricks to do that, but yeah, Michael, Keto Brainz code is Frankly. It's a one-time code. You get 20% off one-time code. If you're a monthly sponsor of the show, like through Subscribestar, then you get a recurring 20% off every time you make a purchase. That's just one of the many things that I believe makes up for hundreds of dollars of monthly value I give to people to support me for as little as $5 a month, because there's a lot we're doing here. Radar-induced storms in the United States. Okay. Well, Robert, there's something. RJ, radar-induced storms in the United States. There's a little bit there. Liberty for all, the bags never stop. Why would you say no to it? Frank, there have been some really big UFO hoaxes out there, and I've looked into where they could have done a better job. Okay, so we got to talk about that. I want to see Sean David Morton. I still have to get a few more of Sean David Morton's Sands of Time books. Now, Sean died last year. God rest his soul. And I have contact with his wife through a listener of the show who I know wants to continue his work in some way. And the one thing I was never able to talk to Sean David Morton about at great length was what he knew about the Phoenix Lights. Now, I remember that was also when I was in middle school. Anybody in this chat room right now, was anybody in Phoenix at the time? Did anybody see the Phoenix Lights? No, Zoso, we're not in the laundry room. The laundry room is in the basement. I've done many streams from the basement. That's the Bin Laden basement. It looks like one of those caves that the CIA made all the Bin Laden videos in. It's not as finished as this. Let's see here. I'm a Texan, and our weather this year is not normal at all. We still haven't had a 100-degree day. Last week it was warmer in New York than Texas. I'm enjoying it, but it's not normal. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I have a lot of friends in Texas now, a lot of sponsors in Texas and all that, and also Arizona and all those areas along the southern border, the Southwest, all over there. And I'm usually getting reports of 100-degree days in May. That's crazy. For real? Frank, who's that guy that you've had on 2 or 3 times that was in the time travel program in the government? That is Andrew Bashago. And I'd love to have Andrew on again. Andrew is blind. He's got some other things going on there too. He actually attributes his declining health with his eyes to the exposure and all of the chrononaut programs that his father put him in the 60s and 70s. I'd love to go back in there with him. I really would. We've had him on twice for 2 Saturday night shows. They were great shows. Let's see here. At work, sitting here waiting for parts. What kind of parts, Dragon? Let's see what else people saying. The comments on Texas weather is exactly right. Our weather is weird. Did you hear about the wind that knocked down telephone poles in Las Vegas? No, but I heard that Vegas gets crazy weather like that from time to time. I heard that they get absolute deluges of water as well. Whether or not it's seated, I don't know. Pumps and fittings. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. The unacknowledged documentary with Stephen Greer. He said we were 150 years behind technology wise, and we went up. We don't. If we went up to date all at once, it would look like alien technology. Yeah, I've seen the unacknowledged documentary. I actually really enjoyed that documentary until, of course, the end when the Podestas during the end credits when we're staring John Podesta and Hillary Clinton in the face, and I realized, man, people like this really want some form of disclosure. What it is and why, I don't know, but I'm not. I don't let people like that completely dissuade me from wanting to know more about what's being hidden. Obviously, you know, when people know that they have a certain reputation, they know how to use that reputation both to inspire action for and against something. And even Stephen Greer, I've grown tired of, to be honest, over the years. Especially now that I listen to so much, I have listened to so much reruns of Coast to Coast going back to the '90s. I couldn't believe how many episodes he's been on of Coast to Coast all throughout the 1990s. He's still saying the same things. I particularly don't understand. Now, talking about the Lost Century, that was a segment in that documentary, Unacknowledged. It was called The Lost Century. And we've had conversations on the show pertaining to that subject a lot. And it's one to, I mean, to at least be pondered. What Where should we be? I'll have to look into the Lost Century. No, it's a segment of that documentary. If you've watched it, you know. And what they pretty much talk about here is that there's at least a century worth of really world changing technology. And you can say, well, listen, over the last 100 years, how has the world not changed 5 times over? You know, from the manned flight to unmanned flight, the internet, robotics, pharmaceuticals. There are good pharmaceutical breakthroughs. Um, I mean, but that you also think about, I'm looking out the window right now, and as far as the eye can see, all I see is telephone poles and rats' nests of wires. Just rats' nests of wires. It's not a matter about burying the lines underground. It's just that, should we really still be wired up like this? And I'm in no way, shape, or form married, or do I love, I no, give me my unleaded engines, and give me the cars with the gas. Like, there's something romantic about gasoline. I love the smell, but I wonder all of the green movements and the hybrid car and the solar energy. There's so much bullshit attached to all that stuff, but I do wonder about just what if all things were equal, how would we be powering cars in really awesome ways? Yeah, cultivate, elevate. I'm gonna have Matt back on soon too, because I actually sent him a book. I sent Matt from Cultivate Elevate a book about, what the hell is it called? Hold on, let me. Where is he? Matt, there he is. I sent him this book, Shortwave Therapy and General Electrotherapy. I said, yo, because my cousin Sherry comes by a lot of really old books. For example, I'm reading this one right now. Shouldn't take too long if I can just sit down and read it. Um, this was published in 1964. The Techniques of Astral Projection. There's some really interesting stuff just in the introduction. Just in the introduction. I mean, I would love to go through this and mark down some things that I want to bring up for the next time that Albert Taylor comes on the show. Because even in the opening here, let me see here. In every period of man's history, some people have claimed to have had an experience that to others was pure fantasy. They claim to have left their physical bodies in a second body, a non-physical one, which they variously call the astral, etheric, spiritual, spirit, soul, four-dimensional, etc. body. These out-of-body experiences are popularly called astral body projections on the assumption that an objective astral body was in fact projected from or released by the familiar physical body. Quote St. Paul in here, but they also go to secular sources, people who are not really very religious at all. But other than that, just in the introductions, they start talking about how certain diets were adopted to make sure that if you are going to trigger astral projection at night, things like drinking salt water before bed, which is, I wonder why all the maybe that's why the magnesium and everything else affects me in like a hallucinogenic ways. But there's so much in here. Old books. That's what I want to bring on. I want to bring some more stuff on like that. But I sent this book to Matt from Cultivate Elevate about shortwave therapy and general electrotherapy, just so that if he finds anything in there, he wants to report on, I want him to come on the show and do it with me as an exclusive. So I can definitely bring up the other stuff with him too. That's a little tangent. Okay, I started the copper wraps with my house plants a few months ago. They are growing nicely. I still have not done any electroculture over here. Brother Zoe, is Cousin Sherry coming to the Jamboree? Not only is Cousin Sherry coming to the Jamboree, she'll be there for the VIP night, and she'll be there for the September 6th night, which, guys, there's still tickets left. If we sell them out by the end of July, I think I might be able to expand them a little bit more. I'm thinking, but yeah, not only is Sherry going to be there, but she's actually going to be putting together silent auction baskets with all types of stuff from her antique shops, plus Quite Frankly things and sponsor. There's going to be so many things that we're just giving away to people, and everybody that shows up is really going to be taken care of, especially with the food. The food is going to be incredible. We got chefs that are going to be pumping out stuff constantly. Even Sal the Butcher from Friday Night Show, he's going to be showing up with pounds and pounds and pounds of beef. But he also says, if you want, I can show you. He said, I'll cook too. And we got a wonderful little courtyard area too set up that you can. It's gonna be nice. So, did anyone buy a VIP ticket that is not a monthly subscriber? I don't know. I'm gonna analyze that. Most of those tickets were sold before everything even went public last week. So that's the great part. I like the fact that mostly monthly subscribers got in on that. But yeah, Cousin Sherry's going to be there. Zoso Dude is going to be there. I'm hoping that Rob will be there. People like Rob that everybody wants to meet in person. Matt will be there. Mike, my brother Anthony Vincent, 10 Second Songs, he'll be there. A whole bunch of my friends, family, but people you'll recognize from the show. Even Even frequent guests like Robert Phoenix are coming up from Texas. Robert is from Kerrville, Texas. He's coming up. It's Bill Bean, The Exorcist, will be there. It's gonna be great. I think Wendy Mahoney will be there. A lot of you guys are gonna be able to meet each other. King 40, you can't forget about him. King really is going. King really, I think Zoso dude is going to be. Stosu might be there. King 40, I'm telling you, he has been practicing his disco dancing. In fact, the one thing I have to figure out, I have to make sure. I have a couple of ideas for DJs, but I have to make sure that we have a good DJ, because live performances will be. I mean, there might be some acoustic jamming on the VIP night at the studio, but live performances, that'll be for the spring. As soon as this is done in September, I'm going to start putting together plans for a spring concert. And that's when me and Anthony's band will play, but I also want to bring musician friends of mine from all over the place to come in. You're the best DJ, Frank. If I wasn't going to be circulating throughout the whole place and hosting, I'd love to DJ. I love it. But we got to play some boogie nights for King, so he can give everybody some kind of I don't know, show everybody how to dance. Oh, so people are asking. I'm telling you, Airbnb. Airbnb is probably the best thing. If you're coming to if you bought tickets, and you just email me, and I'll give you some pointers. But there you go. I wish I could make it. I'm going to see the Disco Biscuits in August. The Disco Biscuits have played the venue that we are going to be at for the Jamboree a few times. Quite a bit. It's a pretty famous venue we're going to be at. Well, it's attached to it. I'd love to be in a larger theater after a couple of go-arounds, but all right. You know what? Half hour of talk feels good. Tonight should be pretty okay. Here's something else I'm going to throw you tonight. Stefan Molyneux said something today or last night that I'm pretty sure is rage bait. And I'm going to be, I don't know, maybe we'll take some calls on it, because I'll throw the lines open tonight. Got a lot of stuff to give you. But he made a comment that just might be rage bait about normal sexual relations as far as frequency goes when you're married. It's rage bait, and you'll see why. And maybe it's better for a Saturday night topic, but we're all adults here. And at the very least, I'm going to just throw this in your lap tonight so that I can see everybody fighting or making jokes or whatever the hell else in the chat room, in the comments, when you're driving in your cars, in your living rooms, talking amongst yourselves. I have to just throw this out there. You have to check that out tonight as well. But howdy, Jane. But that's all I got for you right now. So until tonight, I would just say enjoy your Quite Frankly Elevation Blend coffee. The Elevation Blend coffee. Spike it with the Keto Brainz. Keto Brainz is a major sponsor of the Jamboree that we're having over here in New York. It's not in New York City, everybody. It's 30 miles outside the city. So don't not come because you feel like you're going to be in the middle of some sort of a war zone or whatever. I promise you it's a good time and everything's going to be well and fun. And we got tickets left still. We just started selling them last week. Get in on them. I'd love to meet so many of you. It's the first of its kind event, but say that you were there, because You're going to be going home with a lot of great memories and a lot of great swag and all that other stuff. And I'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock. So, yeah. Have a great day, everybody. And anything you want to contribute to the show, get into the Discord, tag us, and away we go. All right. Oh, one last thing. I'll make the thing tonight. We are having Film Club next Monday, July 21st. So for those of you who are monthly sponsors, become a monthly sponsor. It doesn't take that much. Quite frankly.tv/sponsor. Those are all of your, it's either Patreon, Subscribestar. I'd love to get Subscribestar close to we're at 30% of our monthly goal. I'd love to get that to 75 by the end of this year, because that means life will have changed significantly. But you get in on all the culture clubs as well. So we're going to be doing Film Club on Monday night after Quite Frankly ends. The film that you have all week to watch, Gangs of New York. That's it. Gangs of New York is our July pick. And we'll do a little bit more in August as well, as we watch Stand By Me and we read The Body and all that stuff. So Gangs of New York, be a part of it. Yeah, RJ. Hell yeah. It's going to be the first time I'm watching this with real intent. So I can't wait to just take it all down, write myself some notes, especially modern parallels, immigration, gang warfare, everything. I can't wait. So next Monday, 9 o'clock, Gangs of New York, and that is for all of you guys who are part of the Culture Club. And it's one of the many things that you get, perks you get being a sponsor. But I love you all. I'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight. Thank you again, Keto Brainz. Clear, focused, aligned, energized. Lion's Mane, Alpha GPC, L-theanine, coconut-derived MCT. It's a brain bomb with no jitters.